It's time for Real Estate 101 with the KareyBrown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good Sunday morning to you. This is KareyBrown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. Today I'm here with Mike Carmona with Carmona Heating and Air. How are you, Mike?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. So today we're going to be talking about the things that consumers need to know about heating and air, but we're going to start off first with tell me a little bit about your business, how long you've been in the business, and all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, our Carmona Comfort Air actually established in 2004, and I've been in this business for about 33 years, I believe, somewhere in there, 33 to 34 years. It's hard to keep track anymore. But no, I've actually started in this business while I was a junior, senior in high school as a part-time deal during the summer with some other odd jobs. And the company I started for then is actually out of business now. But I ended up going to college. I went to KU for a while, and through that time I was going to Washburn. And in that meantime, I was with that company and started learning the trade there. And then actually, started liking it and kept doing some college stuff and learning some business, and then actually got into technical school and actually attended Call Area Votech at the time, which is now Washburn Tech. So that's kind of how I started.
Good deal. So let's talk a little bit about, first off, how can they get a hold of you if they need you?
Okay. Well, our phone number we're actually in the Noto district, so our number is 234-3331. You can also look up our webpage at CarmonaComfortAir.com. And both of those ways you can actually contact us either route, through email there, or just give us a call. Okay.
So, say I'm a new homeowner and I want to have an inspection done. Can they call you guys out to take a look at their central heating and air? What all do you guys actually look at?
Okay. Yeah, we can do, there's a couple of deals there. If you're actually into, looking at selling the home and need an actual inspection of the system, we do that. We go through, obviously, whatever style of furnace you have, gas, electric, air conditioner, heat pump. First of all, we'll check the operation. Now, sometimes, like when it's really cold out in the winter, although we're coming out of that now, it's hard to run the air, but we'll bump the compressor, make sure it comes on. But we'll actually check the heat exchanger, see if there's any physical damage, holes. If we can run it, it's great because we'll actually do a carbon monoxide test. So we'll actually use a professional meter to make sure that it's not, or it is, producing carbon monoxide. If it is, we'll let you know what the parts per million is on that. Air conditioning, again, we'll go through that, check all your connections, check the installation, make sure it's in correctly. If there's any code issues that may hamper the sale of the home, we'll let you know that. So basically just an overall checkup of the system as much as we can. Sometimes the house doesn't have utilities on. And then we'll actually give you a written report on that and let you know what we found, and then go from there.
Okay. So if you're a homeowner and you're already in the house, what are your tips for making sure that their units stay properly maintained?
Really, some of the easy things that you want to do, obviously your filters. Although that's an easy thing for people to do, lots of times it's forgotten. And so you want to make sure that you're, changing it regularly. Now, regularly for some homes versus others is different. And depending on the style of filter you use. If you use like the 1-inch fiberglass filter, the blue, those are the weakest filter out there. I know you can buy them anywhere. But they trap about at the top, maybe 5% of the stuff that goes through the airflow there. So if your home if you have pets, if you smoke, or a lot of traffic, a lot of little kids in and out, things like that, you might want to upgrade to a better filter. Or just make sure you change that one more regularly. Then you go to the pleateds, which are you can get into the 1 inch there. 3M, I know, makes a lot of those. People are familiar with that. And you can, just make sure they don't get too clogged before you change them. And then you get into the more efficient filters, which are what we call a brand of April Air. There's Air Bear, all kinds that 4 to 5 inch wide that generally last longer. But filter removal and replacement is a start. Some people have washable ones. Just make sure you do it regularly. Cleaning the system, and really when people think about cleaning their system, usually we're talking about the outdoor condenser. A lot of people like to wash out their system, which is fine. We encourage it because even though we do planned maintenance and we come out and we do wash a system, some areas in Topeka have a lot of cottonwood. And just because we wash it doesn't mean it won't come back. So they need to pay attention to that. And when you do that, some of the coils out there, which is a condenser coil, have straight fins. Some have a spiny fin. But the straight fins, you want to be careful not to hit the coil with a strong blast of water. You really want to spray. And I just tell people to spray from the top down and just let it rinse out. You might want to do it when it's not running. Or be sure not to hit the electronic parts of the air conditioner with straight on water. Now, some people have the spiny fin style, which is generally the Train models, the Train brand, and the American Standard. Some of those do. Those you can still rinse out, but the heavy cottonwood or debris in there sometimes has to be burned out with a MAP gas. We have to do that in extreme cases. Because the fin is like a bristle brush, and you can't rinse it out. And so the longer it stays in there, the more clogged it gets. So, but homeowners, washing the condensers, changing the filters, making sure your thermostats are set correctly if you have programmable ones. Make sure the settings are there. Pay attention to the operation. And there's a lot of systems out there that in the heating and or air side that people just know that it comes on and off. But you want to pay attention if it's short cycling, on, off, too much. That's not correct. And so those are the things that we have to check. But as you go on from there, beyond the homeowner, when you call us out, we check electrical connections on the outdoor air. We check refrigerant charge. Again, wash it out. Overall operation, airflow, make sure everything's good there. On the heating side, the same thing. A lot of the newer furnaces really don't have a heat exchanger to clean because they're all tubular. Some of the older models that are out there are clamshell style where you can stick your hand through there. Those can be cleaned. The burners can be pulled out. All that. Again, electrical connections. Newer systems have circuit boards, which, we just make sure all the timing's right, everything's working. We check flue draw, again, carbon monoxide. In the winter, also humidifiers. If you have a humidifier in there, we want to make sure that the water's flowing correctly. There's no leaks. There's a humidifier panel is changed in those. A lot of people have these humidifiers that don't really realize there's more maintenance to them. They're just turning them on and off.
I was just going to mention that. I know in home inspections, they tell them if you're not going to use it, if you're not going to maintain it, just unhook it. Tell the consumer what actually happens in those humidifiers if they don't clean it.
Okay. The humidifier is such a great item, for dryness and all that, when they first are installed, people say, oh, they work. And then as they go on the next year, they haven't done anything to it. But the general thing is on the more modern style, and that's most of them, have what's called a water panel. It's kind of like a filter looking deal. It's almost a honeycomb looking thing that lays in there, but it absorbs the water as it's calling for humidity from your humidistat. And after a year, they need to be replaced. Those panels cost anywhere from $15 to $19. They're not too bad. But if you don't do it, scale builds up. The humidifier will not work correctly, meaning it will not put the proper humidity in because it won't absorb the water anymore, the panel. And then the other item is that if you don't have a water softener in the home, the panel, the line can lime up or clog up. And so, you want to be sure when you do maintenance on the furnace that the humidifier is also checked at the same time. And we just make sure that the solenoid valve is working correctly and things like that. So really, on a humidifier, good maintenance. If you don't have a water softener in the home, which makes the water, less calcified in the system, just be sure that it's operating. You want to check one way you can do it is making sure that the water coming out of the drain is coming out during that time when it should be operating. So, but that's really the general deal on humidifiers.
And as far as filters, what would be, if you could pick one in particular that you said, listen, I would love to see this be the filter that you always use, and this is why. Mm-hmm. What would that be?
The one that is a common one and we also sell is made by a company called April Air. It is they have MERV ratings, MERV, that are the higher the number, the better the filtration. The ones that we sell are about a MERV 11 to a MERV 13. That's the most common, and they're good. That would be the style that I would like to see people put in. Now there are people talk about electronic air filters, and those are actually powered by voltage, 120, but those have to be cleaned religiously monthly because there's ionizing wires on there, collection plates that have to be pulled out, and if they're not cleaned monthly, again, they don't do their job. And there is a pre-filter, like a mesh pre-filter, and that will catch so much. But if you let it go, all that particulate will just go right through it if it's not clean. But if you do keep them clean, they are a great system. Now they are kind of a pricey unit. So we probably sell more of the thick media filters, which are 4 to 5 inches wide. I would also recommend if you do replace your system and you're thinking about putting a better filter, that is the time to do it because it will actually keep your equipment much cleaner. Your blower, your indoor evaporator coil, which helps come maintenance time. There's not a lot of extra to do. Plus, you made a huge investment in a system, and I'm sure you like to keep it clean. And the old scenario is it's no different than your car. You have to change the oil, rotate tires, all that stuff. And it's similar. It's mechanical. So you want to make sure that, you just keep all that clean as much as possible. So the April Air, there is one, the Space Guard, which is an old style, although it's still out there. Now, on that note, if people have the Space Guard, which we call the accordion filter, and people that have it will know this, it actually takes combs. There's little combs in there that keep the accordion part apart. Now, they still make the replacement filter for that, but if you're tired of that, and a lot of people have just stuffed 1-inch filters in there because they're tired of dealing with it, they do make a kit now that will convert that just to a big slide-in filter. So if you're tired of doing the combs, although I do like it the way it is, if you're tired of doing the combs, we can get a kit for it and get you to where you just have a big sliding filter, which still works good.
Good deal. Mm-hmm. So before we go to break, one more time, tell them how to get a hold of you. Okay.
Our number, 234-3331 or CarmonaComfortAir.com.
And this is KareyBrown with Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Southwest Topeka has a good neighbor. State Farm agent Jim Garrison, now at 29th and Urish. If your current insurance situation has you going around in circles, get off the roundabout and stop in and meet Jim and his wonderfully efficient staff. Let Jim Garrison give you a quote and make the Garrison comparison. He's confident that with State Farm's competitive rates, the right coverage, and his unmatched service, you'll want to make him your new insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Jim Garrison is there for you, northeast of the roundabout at 29th and Urish.
Thanks for joining us again. This is KareyBrown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. And I am back with Mike Carmona from Carmona Heating and Air. Actually, Carmona Comfort Heating and Air. I keep forgetting the comfort.
Yeah,
part.
it's Carmona Comfort Air.
Okay.
Yep. Right.
I'm just shortening his name for him.
As long as you remember Carmona, I guess
That's
you can
all
find
that
us.
matters.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about maintenance items. If you were to say, listen, we do this, and I know that you have a maintenance plan that you do for people. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about what that entails.
Okay. What we call is planned maintenance. Now, you hear other terms like preventive maintenance and things like that. We like to call it planned maintenance because it is a plan. What we sell, and just depending on how many systems, some homes have 2 systems, some have 3. But our yearly deal goes, you get a spring and a fall check. So obviously the spring will be the air conditioner and the fall will be the furnace. And we actually sell it for $140. Okay. Now, also with that agreement is if you have other calls beyond the maintenance, we do extend a 15% parts discount in case you have a motor go out or things like that. Now, the thing about maintenance, a lot of people believe or think that since you have an agreement that nothing will ever break down. And that's not the case because it's mechanical. But I will tell you that people that are on our maintenance program find that they don't have as many breakdowns because really more than half the battle of your system breaking down is because you don't maintain it. You ignore it. So, the cleaning part is critical because the dirtier it is, just like a filter, the harder your system has to work. And so you'd be amazed at how much it does help. Also, we do offer, and since we're getting into the air conditioning season now, we have started doing the maintenance. We do run a special, and if you hear this and call me, I'll pass it on to you. But we do, if you just want to do one at a time, try us out. It's $75 to have us come and maintain your system for air conditioning and or heating. But we'll do air conditioning now and furnace in the fall. But what we do, and we'll actually give you a carbon copy checklist of what we check. You keep a copy, we keep a copy for our records, so you know what we find or what we've done. Again, washing, checking in the air conditioning part, checking electrical connections, checking your refrigerant charge. We'll check your airflow, make sure that everything's crossing the coil at your furnace correctly. There's things that we have to check to make sure it's doing all that. Now, this price does not include any parts. So if you need a filter, that would be an extra deal because there's so many filters out there. We don't know which one really you may have. Or refrigerant. So if it is low in refrigerant, we would, need to add that to make the system come up, up to par to operate correctly. But really, the maintenance beyond anything else is really for an HVAC contractor. I would say that is most of our work is maintaining things because the breakdowns happen generally because of lack of it. Now motors do go bad, things like that. But like I said, if you have our agreement, we do extend a 15% discount on parts.
Good deal. So again, it's how much for the year?
$140. Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good investment.
It is. And so you basically save, if you did it one at a time, which is $75 right now, it'd end up being $150. So you save $10 on the agreement. I know it's not a whole lot, but it's $10 is $10. And then again, but if you hold the agreement, have the agreement, like I said, anything beyond the maintenance, if you call us midsummer, my unit's not working and, motor went out, something like that, we'll extend a 15% discount to you on that part. So.
And what other services do you guys offer? Okay.
Well, again, we are only heating and air. So we do residential. We also do light commercial. We do duct work. We actually make a lot of our own sheet metal fittings. So when we come in to your home, and let's say you need ductwork done or whatnot, there are some out there that like to use a lot of flex duct in an area where you don't really need to. But we use metal like you should, especially like a basement installation. Those really are mainly metal. We do see some stuff called duct board, and it's basically almost like it's an insulated board basically that you cut with a knife. And there's some out there. Lots of times we'll go back with a sheet metal transition to that, because duct board basically is held together by tape.
Oh, that sounds great.
And it does work. And they use it for ease, but because it is insulated. But the only time you'll really see us using a flexible duct is in a crawl space or an attic where it is an unconditioned space, so that does need to be insulated. And so plus you're either in the rafters or below, so it's easier to get it around in a tight area. We just have to make sure it's tight and whatnot. But all that, duct design, heating, air, light commercial. So if you have a business, we can do rooftops. There's a lot of split systems like in homes in commercial. We do boilers. We work on boilers, all that good stuff. Again, in the indoor air quality, we do the air filtration. We do humidification, zoning. Now, zoning is, there's different types of zoning. You can do mechanical zoning with dampers and a control system, which is, if you have cold spots or something in a home, we can actually try to split that up with zone dampers and separate thermostats to help with that area. Another big thing that is out is Wi-Fi thermostats. They are programmable, and since we are in the mobile age and everybody likes their cellular phones or iPads or whatnot, you can control or see what's going on at your home from a different location. And so those are becoming very popular. As far as clean air, now they do make several, like people are familiar with UV lights to eradicate mold, things like that, but they make other items that help kill bacteria. They claim even like E. coli, things like that. I will say that I do usually like to try those things in my home, so I do have those in my home. Sometimes it's hard to tell you if they work, but I believe that they do, because with our family, we haven't been as sick with, this flu season and all that. You might catch a little cold, but it may only last a day or two. And the air tends to smell cleaner in the home. Again, that's something that you have to maintain. But I can, if you're interested in something like that, call me. I'll be glad to tell you all the products that are out there for that. But so if you're, if you feel that maybe your home, you get sick more often being in your home and not when you're out, outside of the home, those are some of the things to look at and that we can help you with.
And what brands do you guys sell?
Okay. Our main brand is Ruud, R-U-U-D, or if you're familiar with Rheem, it's the same product. And the Frigidaire line is also one of our products. On the ductless end, where ductless is becoming more noticeable, especially if you're in have a small room, a computer room, dormer room, Mitsubishi or Fujitsu is some of the products that we deal with there. And those ductless units are high efficient. Now, most of the ones we install are heat pumps, so they'll actually provide heat and cooling, but we have done some cooling-only units. So if you have an area where, like a computer room, basically, they tend to like the cooling more because it gets hot. So, something like that would fit a, application like that. On boilers, we do a product called Slant Fin. And I was trying to think of the name prior to Slant Fin, and I can't think of it. Oh, Hydrotherm. It took over the Hydrotherm product. So a lot of Hydrotherm boilers out there, if you see that on your tag, the Slant Fin is a replacement for that. But those are basically the products that we use in the heating and air side. Again, on the thermostats, people are familiar with Honeywell, White Rogers. Now, there is one also, I talked about Wi-Fi, the Sensi, SENSI. We use that for a Wi-Fi thermostat. Also, there's Lyric from Honeywell, which is a nice stat. Humidifiers would be April Air. I was talking about that earlier. And the filters also, the air filters are also made by April Air that we use a lot. So,
And you service all brands, right?
yeah, we do. Yes, we do. We don't just service ours. We can service all brands. Also, even if you have a brand that is still under warranty, we can generally, if there's a part that's under warranty on that unit, we can still get it. Yeah, because we have contact with all manufacturers pretty much. Yep.
Good deal. And just a quick one. This is a personal one. My son's buying his first house, and there's like very limited head space in the basement. I mean, plenty to finish the basement, but if you're tall at all, which I don't have that problem. I mean, I'd say if you're 6 foot or taller, maybe 6'3", you're going to smack yourself in the head.
Yeah.
What do you guys do about? And the ductwork is where the problem is running in. What do you suggest about things like that?
You know, that's a common problem in the short basements. You know, there's really not, as far as ductwork, because ductwork has to be correctly sized for the system. And I know a lot of do-it-yourselfers will go in there and try to do something really flat, but then they end up messing up the airflow. Honestly, unless, you know, we can move the ductwork to the side of the basement wall, you know, maybe try to move it out of the way where you walk a lot. That would be it. But unfortunately, the ductwork has to, the ductwork has to be the proper size to work correctly. So, yeah, I know there's a lot of headbangers down there. I'm not that tall either. I know I hit my head, too.
I can walk under that thing all day long and never bother me at all.
Yeah.
So.
But, yeah, I see that a lot, actually.
Okay. So whenever you are looking to get everything fired up for the year, what number should they call?
Okay, our number is 234-3331. We are located in the Noto district there in North Topeka, and or CarmonaComfortAir.com. You can contact us through that also.
All right, and if you're looking to buy or sell, we have got a lot of nice houses on the market right now. We would love to show you. And we're also looking for a ton of buyers that aren't able to find exactly what they're looking for. So if you're looking to buy or sell, please give us a call at 785-213-5188. You can visit our website at topekahomeadvisors.com. You can actually search for homes there. So if you're looking for something in particular, you just type in where it would be. That includes Topeka, Lawrence, Manhattan, and into Kansas City. So please go out and check that out. And you can also, again, call us at 785-213-5188. Thanks for listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the KareyBrown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.